Hello again. This is the second video that I'm recording actually on Friday at the end of week 2 of the Century Home renovation project. This is going to be a different one and a rather brief one, and I'm recording it with Deb Wild especially in mind. You know who you are. I'm going to record actually, I'm going to put a link in the description of this video to a podcast that I recently recorded with a colleague. Deb was our special guest. I'll just say briefly, she's a civilian working for the British Army, so I know her through work. And what we discuss in the podcast is how you make do with less than a fancy kitchen and still eat well and have good eating habits. And so I thought that especially Deb would appreciate seeing that I've actually had to face, well, I've had to solve some of the problems that you've recently solved. And well, I thought I'd give you a look around and maybe you could give me your thoughts too. Okay, so what do we got going here? Well, so I'll start with the room. So this is our dining room. What we previously had in this room was just that one table there with 2 chairs around it. I bought a nice set of 4 chairs. This is sort of our Christmas gift to ourselves. I moved 3 of those in the basement already. We didn't. So that's sort of one not necessarily healthy thing, is that we sort of made it not possible for my husband and I to actually eat at that table together. That's not necessarily the best permanent arrangement, but temporarily it's certainly worked. Anyway, so yes, we had that one chair or one table with 2 chairs, and then we had that piece right there where the coffee maker's sitting on it. We had that in the room. And then we had a small china hutch, which you're not seeing because I recently sold it. So that's all we had in this room. Well, then when I started ripping apart the kitchen and the closet that was joined to it, I initially moved everything into this dining room. So I didn't just move the range and the fridge and the new microwave and the new dishwasher and Fang, but I also moved our old microwave into here, which I recently sold. But moreover, I moved every single pot, every pan, all of my baking, like ingredients, spices, flour, sugar, all that stuff. I moved it all into here. And so in addition to everything you're seeing now, plus the small china hutch, I had 2 huge boxes, one on top of the other, as high as the top of this microwave, or even higher, filled with all that stuff. That's what I initially did. Oh, plus a kitchen cart, which I also recently sold. So this room is very packed. And what I found was that this was making it harder. Actually, having all that stuff, it was making it not easier to do the job, but harder, because I couldn't remember where things were. And even if I did, it was very hard to get at them, very tedious. I found I didn't want to do it. So after about a week, I moved at least half of this material into my basement. Now, of course, I have to be honest, I cooked in advance. I cooked lots of meals in advance and froze them so that I wouldn't have to cook very frequently during this month. That's evidently not something you can do. Well, actually, you can do that systematically. We don't. But I will just say, like, had I not done this, of course, then I would have needed more stuff. I wouldn't have been able to move fully everything into my basement. It wouldn't have been convenient anyway to do that. So yeah, so that's been working out really well. It's just easier, because even though I froze about a month's worth of meals ahead of time, it's like curries and chilies mostly, and we still do like to put fresh vegetables into that. Oh, and I've also cooked a little bit on the weekend, so I actually have used that range there. Right, so this table here, of course, I've given prime real estate to good quality knife set. Deb brought up how important that is in the podcast. And this nice big cutting board. Okay, so that's for slicing up fresh vegetables every night with your curry or your chili or whatever else it is. Okay, and well, sort of makeshift to have all your cutlery there. Should be in a drawer, but we don't have a drawer, so that'll have to do. Now, everyone who knows me is not going to be surprised to know that I devoted prime real estate to a coffee maker. And so we put a few staples out and snacks too. Just the ones that we go for the most frequently. Now, of course, Jenny and Avalon, you're going to give me heat because of those potato chips. I know you're going to burn me, but a treat is part of healthy eating. It's not supposed to replace a meal. Anyway, so yeah, so a few of our favorite snacks and some staples at the ready. This was a reduced dish and glass section. We can do without, for a little while, and that's actually easier than putting it all here and having to not wanting to touch it because it's all going to fall down. Now I will be honest, of course, we did initially. I put like really most of our plates here. Haven't needed them. It's really something I could do without. I even went into this drawer here. Some of the glasses that we don't use that frequently. This is our fine china. We actually always keep that china there. But with a few like casserole bowls, bigger bowls, stuff like that. So, I actually use that china hutch, I don't know if that's a china hutch. It's a hutch. I actually don't usually use that to store anything except actually like Christmas, like wrapping stuff. But so now I'm using it to store the makeshift kitchen stuff. I used this ledge over here for the toaster. This cutlery set right here, we actually don't use. We haven't used it in a long time. I bought it many years ago, like almost 10 years ago. I just like the look of it. And I always wanted a kitchen where I could put out a showpiece like that. And I'm soon going to have one. Put a few different, like there's a kettle, obviously, and a coffee grinder. Don't use these things every day. Oh, cat toys. Don't use these things every day, but still wanted them. The box underneath is the china from the hutch that we sold. Mrs. Hollowak, of course, in honor of you. That's the air fryer that you gifted us with. Even though our new range has one, I'm storing stuff in there. So I can't really, well, it's not very convenient to use it. I don't know why every time I open that thing, the broiler setting appears. I got to get to the bottom of that. Well, anyway, so that's our little makeshift kitchen. It's worked out really well. We're getting used to it. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that I do want to get into a new kitchen, because I do. And one of the reasons is because you're noticing you're not noticing a sink here. That's because there isn't one. We've been using the bathroom, which is not great. But we're slowly even getting used to that. So actually, to be honest, that's been rather inconvenient. But we have made do. So so that's all I have. But Deb, hope you enjoyed it, and for everyone else, including Deb, that is anyway. Next episode will be either on Sunday or Monday after I start painting and priming. So I'll see you then. Goodbye.